Hello everybody. Before you do anything else, stop the video and I want you to go to your Twitter account and follow Ticker Art. I'm going to keep talking about this, but this is, I've just launched this site. Really cool stuff, really fun stuff, NFT art. I'll be talking more about it as the days wear on, but worked hard on putting this together, had a blast doing it, and I, again, want you, if you're on Twitter, which I assume if you're under 90, you do use Twitter, follow at Ticker Art. So thank you for that. It'll cost you $0. So wanted to talk a bit about indexes on this quiet weekend. And before I do, I just want to mention Bitcoin only because I think it is an important element to everything going on. All assets are pretty much tied at the hip. And I actually consider the mood of the animal spirits to be largely captured by the likes of crypto and Bitcoin in particular. And it's no surprise to me that we had that absolutely explosive move on Friday. It was just jaw-dropping. And as it is now, it's not the clean pattern that it was, but as it is now, we have gotten just below this level. In other words, we're at a lower high. So here was the recent peak, and here's a lower high, and here is a lower high again for now. Hopefully it'll stay at lower high, because even though Bitcoin seems to have approximately nothing to do with equities, I think it has tremendous amount to do with equities. Because, simply stated, all those trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars have to go somewhere. And that's why bonds and equities and crypto and NFTs and everything else is completely wildly overpriced right now. So animal spirits, it's flowing through everything. So Bitcoin is worth watching even if you couldn't care less about cryptocurrency. Now, as far as the index goes, I'm just going to thumb through these in alphabetical order. Some things I'll say almost nothing about, some things I'll say a few things about. And as usual, I follow 16 different important indexes. Dow Jones Composite. This one, we're starting to do a little damage, as you can see. The former support was right here, 11112.65. That was the low back in June of this year. And it threatened it again here in July. And most recently, bang, bang, bang. 3 different instances in the past couple of weeks where we've actually violated that support. The market wants to go lower. The market should go lower. But Powell's going to fight tooth and nail to prevent it from going lower. I hope he fails, obviously. The tippity top, the peak, was way back in May. On May 10, we had a shooting star pattern there. Now we've had a lower high, a lower high, and a lower high yet again. And another shooting star, by the way. So this pattern here is what we want to see succumb and just break down. And I suppose the most optimistic we could be at this point is maybe traverse as far as this very long-term trend line, which is anchored way, way back to the March 2009 bottom. As far as CompQ goes, a little less exciting, but I will say we have failed this wedge. We have broken this wedge. Trend line's anchored back to October 30, 2020. And we spent the last 4 days of the week plunging below it. In fact, beautifully, the tippity top of Tuesday was exactly to the pixel at the underbelly of that now broken trend line. So that's poetry in motion right there. Gold stinks, no news there. Really not much to say. The Gold Bugs Index, complete flop. The Indu, Dow Jones Industrial, this I think has outlived its usefulness. We know it's broken that. As it is now, the next major break would be 33,271, right down there. NASDAQ 100, this actually managed to sneak just a little below its supporting trend line on Friday. Of course, with all the Powell purchasing going on, it didn't. I'm going to drag this lower, this resistance line down to the price gap there between Monday and Tuesday. But we did do a little bit of damage where we formed this very sharp doji pattern right there. So, God forbid we get more strength. But if we do, I think the next meaningful level of resistance would be at that price gap right there. S&P 100, not too interesting, but we did for the first time ever since July 20 violate that supporting level. So we are getting some damage done. There is progress being made on the downside. Here's the maddening, frustrating, agonizing Russell 2000. Totally captured market, totally range bound, not permitted to escape. It has been more or less at 2220 since Abraham Lincoln was in office. We're just banging around here. Absolutely will not. Organic market farces. Yeah, I've been around this market too long. Organic market forces not allowed at this point. Should God smile upon the universe and this lower bound get broken, 2085, I suspect all holy hell will break loose. The first important step for that would be to push below the low of the 20th of September, which would cease this recent trend of higher lows. The SOX, the semiconductor index, this busted its own supporting trend line on Wednesday and marked its lowest level in many, many weeks on Friday. The S&P 500, let's just draw another horizontal here. Round about there would be good. So, as you can see, Thursday we matched this low, and then Friday we managed to sneak just a little bit below it. Once again, furious Fed buying kept things propped up, kept the, what should have happened is like the moment we violated this, all holy hell break loose. But no, the 10,000 PhDs in the Eccles building aren't going to permit that. So we got all this buying from the federal government, and the next major resistance will be up here at that price gap. Transports, the Dow Transports, this continues to wither away. It has been eroding ever since the shooting star peak back on May 10. Very sloppy pattern. Again, if this were an organic market, it'd be very easy to read, very easy to interpret. As it is now, it is a funhouse mirror of distortion. The utilities approach their lifetime high and have been sinking away from that as interest rates begin to strengthen and rise. Here's the poor old VIX. We're still in the 20s, incredibly. We got down to 21.15. We had, of course, this week a burst of excitement, as you can see right here. But that was beaten down. But I will say at least that we have been getting, note this low, 14.10, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So we are getting a sweep up in this. We are getting an increase in volatility as Powell's wretched grip of the market begins to weaken. The XAU, another complete bore fest, gold, completely limp, completely flaccid, broke below its pattern. That saucer pattern is wrecked and ruined. Here's the broker-dealer index. Not even worth my time. Major market index, total bore on that one as well. Here's the XOI, our last one. This is the oil index. We had peak, peak, peak. Most recently, this has become a bit more of a mess. It had been, before TN Revolution spoiled it, it had been a clean pattern like so. We had left shoulder, head, right shoulder, a violation below the neckline, and then this warped distortion started, and I still held out hope until about a week ago. As recently as here, it still looked fine. It was basically becoming a complex head and shoulders top, but this completely mucked it up. All this garbage and nonsense right here. So this is above its left shoulder. It's no longer a legitimate head and shoulders pattern. It's just a big fat mess. So I got nothing to do with it anymore. All right, well, that's the, I will say one last thing as we're glancing here. Please note this trend line. This is a lifetime trend line on this. It goes all the way back to like when Bill Clinton still had no gray hairs. We have stayed below this broken trend line ever since the failure way back in January 2020. So that, from a long-term perspective, it still spells bad news for energy stocks. So TN Revolution or not, I think energy is still screwed and tattooed. For the moment, though, all these trillions of fiat dollars are keeping things artificially propped up. So that's where it stands. If you ask me like 3 years from now where it's going to be, I think it'd be absolutely catastrophic wipeout. As it is now, though, they got a few weeks of reprieve. That's it from me. I'll do another video now, I think.